Meanwhile, a new deal on ZTE. It's possible Charlie Gasparino has been following this infighting over whether this rescue, or it seems like an apparent rescue to keep it alive, the Chinese telecom concern might be getting a life raft, right?
Yeah, I just want to make one point about Schumer. He was right about Trump being responsible for the higher gas prices, but it's not for the reasons why he said. Trump's economic policies, the tax cuts, have spurred economic activity. That usually causes higher oil prices and gas prices. They trade, maybe Mr. Schumer doesn't know this, they trade on the commodities exchanges. They trade off macroeconomic factors.
Write this down that you have credited the president with some good news.
Well, okay. This is called fair and balanced.
Right.
Who made up that line?
I don't know.
But anyway, we now know that at least. Now, you got to see the fine detail, and I want to see it done before we say it's done. The administration is clearly signaling that they have some deal with China over this massive conglomerate, telecommunications conglomerate, ZTE. Now, just so people understand what ZTE is, it has been a criminal company for many years. I mean, through the Obama administration, stealing our secrets, basically doing very bad things. The Obama administration did nothing. Trump administration took some action. Wilbur Ross initially, I think, put some sanctions on him. When they violated the sanctions, then he hit the nuclear button and basically put him out of business by saying, no U.S. company could sell at any part. Okay, since the trade talks came, it looks like the Trump administration got wobbly on that. And they basically turned around, and Donald Trump said, we're going to cut some deal, which this deal should be announced imminently, where we allow them to stay in business. They might have to pay us some fines. And, this was all hunky-dory because he and the Chinese Premier Xi are fast friends, and they're trying to work out a deal. Okay, here's what we know behind the scenes. This has not been a straight-line process. I mean, from what I understand, before, as this thing is being worked through the administration, there was hand-to-hand combat among Trump administration officials on whether we should cave to Xi, to the Chinese, and allow and basically take off many of the sanctions against them, allow them to operate. Who was involved in that? You had Mnuchin and, surprisingly, Wilbur Ross on one end saying, "Let's go for the sort of weak approach."
So the Treasury Secretary of Commerce,
right? You had some of the trade guys saying, "No. We should make this a marker, a line in the sand. These guys are bad. Put them out of business." This shows you that we're tough on China. That would be Robert Lighthizer, the trade rep, and Peter Navarro, I guess you could say a senior economist involved in trade issues for the White House. And in the end, it was Wilbur, and somehow Mnuchin, the way I understood it, convinced Trump that he can use ZTE as some sort of bargaining chip.
Has he? Is that what the other shoe to drop here? That's what's going to happen? We're going to get that come to light?
Hopefully. And we don't know yet.
Because I should pass along here, Marco Rubio, not a fan, the Florida senator tweeting, yes, they have a deal in mind referring to ZTE. Right. It's a great deal for ZTE and China. China crushes U.S. companies with no mercy, and they use these telecom companies to spy and steal from us. Many hope this time would be different. Now Congress will need to act.
Yeah, well, clearly administration officials, from my reporting today, are worried about how Congress is going to act. I mean, here's the weird thing about the Trump trade policy. And I said before, the economic policy has been good in large respects. Trade has been weird. He's in favor of tariffs, which most people say is bad. I mean, they tariff you, we tariff them.
Unless it gets the other side to do something before they take effect.
But it almost doesn't. I mean, just historically. The one thing that most people agree on is if you find a Chinese company doing criminal activity like ZTE, you should take very punitive measures, particularly in this case, and put them out of business. Everybody agrees with that. And it looks like Trump is actually willing to let like a criminal actor, and they committed crimes according to the Commerce Department, let them go free, have another bite at the apple, while engaging in tariffs, which is pretty absurd. And I think that's one of the big problems with the Trump trade policy. It's almost sort of schizophrenic. It's all over the place.
But imagine if it works, though. The threat of tariffs, you never implement them, but it gets them to blink or do something on trade. It's never been done.
What?
Well, I don't know.
They haven't agreed to anything. After all these weeks, it's not really that
early.
At the
beginning, you started out saying so many.
Well, I try. I mean, listen, I'm calling them as I see them. This is like kind of absurd trade policy.
I don't know. You just seem very agitated.
Listen, you know what? You like ZTE. You know why? Because that's a ZTE phone.
It is not a ZTE phone. Although they are big phones.
Yeah, and by the way, they have listening devices on there.
Really?
So wherever you go, whenever you talk about people, the Chinese are listening to you.
Oh, what this could say about what I said about you.
Yeah.
Could I ask you something? You've
Yes.
got some interesting development. Michael Cohen, the president's personal lawyer, is shopping around, I guess, a book.
Well, what we did was I did kind of a deep dive into his business problems since he's become major news, and it came out that he's the president's personal lawyer. I've known Michael for a long time. He was behind the Stormy Daniels payment that led into a federal criminal investigation into his business activities and other issues. That has had an impact on his business life, obviously. A lot of companies don't want to do business with him. Remember, he was doing business with AT&T and Novartis. They don't want to touch him anymore. I also found out in looking at this, people knew he was pitching a book deal, but I found out that the book deal was essentially pulled, and it was a $500,000 offer. He was looking for $1 million. He got $500,000 out of a conservative imprint at Hachette, and this thing died amid the Stormy Daniels brouhaha. And it was.
I think it would promote interest.
Yeah, but I think a lot of listen. Nobody knows exactly why. He has told people, Michael has, he has too much work on his hands for obvious reasons. I've also heard the White House put the clamps on it. This is not the right time for to do books. Remember, he was Trump's personal lawyer. There's some degree of confidentiality. And, I do know, it's interesting, one of the publishers actually underbid, put in kind of a weak bid because they were worried when this first happened, and the bids came in around February, that it would lead to possible charges against Michael Cohen. So the publishing house might have had an issue as well.
So you're talking about advances that were offered, and so this was at a time there would be mucho interest, right?
It began in February.
Okay.
By the end of February, from what I understand, the deal was essentially off. What the exact reason for that, I can't tell you. I can just tell you that Michael has told people it was an issue, that he had too much work. We have also heard that the White House had a huge problem with this. And the publishing house, could have pulled the plug too and said, now's not the right time. You have an issue here, a legal issue. And remember, it was supposed to be a positive book about working for Trump. Now think about this: Michael Cohen is under criminal investigation. There is a potential, and it's clearly more than theoretical, that he can be indicted. Why would Hachette spend $500,000? And that's a decent advance. Right. Why would they spend $500,000 on a book written by some guy that's positive about Trump that's about to be that's indicted, if he does get indicted? And so that's all that. I'm not saying he is. And by the way, he claims he's innocent. He's hired a very capable criminal attorney, that is going to fight hard for him. I get no joy out of reporting about this because the times that I've met the guy, I actually think he's okay. But the story I have, and it's on FoxBusiness.com, does get into what it's like if you're a businessman to be coming under all this pressure. Take out whether he's innocent or guilty. This has a business impact. It has a family impact. Has an impact on your bottom line. And I get into a lot of this stuff on the .com story.